Hey citizens of Wyandotte and friends all over the world. Welcome to an amazing episode of Jaycees TV, where I'm your host, Stephen Scott Fappas. Another amazing thing that I'm doing this year is I'm the president of JCI Michigan. So you've heard about that in previous episodes, but I am very excited to be the president of our statewide organization, as well as still a proud Wyandotte Jaycee. Today we're going to be talking about some great stuff. We're talking about Wyandotte's beer tent. We're going to have the chair people for that event on. Also talking about the Running to Honor 5K, an event that I'm very excited about. So stay tuned, guys. Looking forward to a great episode. Hey guys, welcome again to a fantastic episode of Jaycees TV. Today my first guests are A, my beautiful wife, Sarah Fappas, and B, a good friend of mine, Samantha McCormick, a longtime Wyandotte Jaycee, and very well may be the longest running Michigan Jaycee. So we got some fact checking to do, and I'll get back to you on that. So happy to have you guys both on the show. A lot of cool stuff for us to talk about. A big thing happening very soon is our beer tent. So tell me what your guys' involvement is with the beer tent.
Well, this will be our 11th year running the beer tents, plural, down at the Wyandotte Street Art Fair.
Awesome.
Down at the Oak Street parking lot, and also the one on the street. We have volunteers that come in and help us pour. A lot of them are JCs. Some of them are members of the community. And it's just a really good time. It's a lot of fun.
And what is your guys' position? Do you have like... Are you guys running it?
We are co-chairs.
Okay, so you're both chairing the project?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Have you guys chaired the project before?
No, this is my first time.
I have.
Okay.
I've been there since the start.
So have you learned stuff from the first times that we've ran that project that you're going to use to make this year better?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So tell me, why is the beer tent important to the Wyandotte Jaycees?
The beer tent is one of our 3 main fundraisers. So 2 of them happen at the street fair. So one is beer tent. The other...
The Beautiful Baby Contest?
Happens, with the Beautiful Baby Contest. And then our 3rd fundraiser that we do is the haunted house. And those 3 combined pretty much fund everything that we do throughout the year. So we do some smaller ones, but this really gives us the fundraising, to complete all the projects that we do throughout the year. So from the beginning of the year, we do the Easter egg hunt.
Okay.
And then all the way through to Christmas baskets and providing families with a whole Christmas. So everything we do is
So basically
pretty much
all the amazing community service projects that Wyandotte Jaycees do, I'm not biased or anything, I'm just the host of the show. That's where the money comes from. So basically beer tent fundraiser, haunted house, and the Beautiful Baby Contest. So a lot happening at the art fair for Wyandotte Jaycees. So what's it like? Tell me, you guys, tell me the basic, what's it like to be a volunteer at the beer tent?
busy, I would say.
Busy, but fun.
But fun.
All right, what makes it fun?
You have live music.
That is pretty
You
cool.
have some pretty awesome bands that play at night. You get to spend time with a bunch of your JC friends and build some camaraderie there and jam it out.
Yes.
And it's pretty amazing when you can go through a whole keg of beer without turning your tap off.
I enjoy that myself. I've poured beer at the beer tent a number of times too. So there's something about it, isn't there? Just you're helping the community. Like every glass that you give to somebody, you know that they're having a good time, and obviously the money goes to benefit us and the city, which is great. Keeps the fair going, which is also cool.
And you get to catch up with people in line too. You get your
like that,
regulars
too.
that come year to year, and they're like, "I want to see you again."
Right.
Like, you give me the perfect pour.
Yeah.
Some people are better than others. Yeah. I've crafted a perfect pour. So tell me, so speaking of people coming up to you and you remember these people, how can just the average person that comes to the beer tent, how can they get involved with the Wyandotte Jaycees? What are ways they can connect with you guys?
If someone wanted to join the JCs, they could just show up at beer tent and tell us they want to join, and they can do it that way. But typically, you can PayPal your dues, basically, and that would include you into the JCs. But if you wanted to, I would encourage you to come out either to beer tent or something else that we are running and join us and see what we have going on and get a feel for who we are. And I guarantee you, if you do that, you'll want to be a member.
So this is really cool. So it's an opportunity if somebody's between the ages of 21 and 40 is kind of how the Jaycees work. Wants to volunteer, get a hold of you guys. I'm sure we have contact information that we'll put up on the screen. And that's a really good way into the Jaycees to learn more about the community stuff that we do, is coming to a project. And what better one where you're listening to live music and you're really helping support the community. So that's really good. What are other ways that attendees can help support the Wyandotte Jaycees other than this?
They can vote during the Beautiful Baby Contest.
Fantastic.
That is a good one.
How do you vote?
So you can vote at the street fair. We have pictures of all the babies, and 1 penny equals 1 vote.
Okay.
So, and you can just vote for whichever baby that you feel is the most beautiful during the street fair, so Wednesday through Saturday. And you can also vote online. So you can go to our website, which is wyandottejaycees.org.
Okay.
And you can find the Beautiful Baby link. And on that page, you will be able to see all the beautiful babies. And you can go and vote online.
Is registration open for that?
Registration is now open.
Awesome. Fantastic. So that sounds really cool. So when is the beer tent so people know?
It is July 10, 11, 12, and 13th.
Okay, fantastic. Put you on your toes. Maybe I
Right.
should have not asked that question right away. But yeah, it is. It's Wednesday through Saturday.
Saturday. And so
and how long is the beer tent open?
The beer tent is open.
From noon until 11 p.m.
So people can
Every
come
day.
all day and hang out, basically.
Oh, yeah. And there's something to do all day long. I mean, we're there pouring beer, but there's fun stuff for you to do as a patron.
Awesome. Are you guys, so what happens with the tips? I know you get tips.
We
What
do
you
get
guys
tips.
What do you guys do with the tip money? You guys just pocket that and give it to the JC people, or what?
No. So one of the things that we do sometimes, not every year, but we will partner with other groups in the community.
All right.
And sometimes we donate some of the tip money to those groups.
Hey, I know a guy on the show later that maybe you guys should hook up with. I know you know Aaron.
Yeah. So that would be one example of giving to, say, Running to Honor.
Yeah.
And
That would be amazing.
yeah, that would be a cool thing. But other community groups can contact us, and if they want to bring out some of their members or volunteers, we can share some of our tips with them.
Oh, fantastic. I love this community feel that we bring about in the JCs. So, Sam, tell me something that's your like favorite part of the beer tent.
Favorite part of the beer tent? I think just, jamming out, listening to the good tunes. Larry
right.
Lee back in the day.
All right, they're coming this year.
All right.
I think they're
And,
there Wednesday night.
And just, pouring beer, hanging out, and street food fair.
Oh, yes, yes.
Or street fair food,
Right,
actually.
well, I knew what you were talking about.
Right.
We're picking up what you're putting down.
Have an elephant ear. I didn't get one last year, so hopefully
We'll
this
have to
year.
make that a thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to tell us about the beer tent?
This year, you can look for our tip jars.
Okay.
So we'll be having tip battles.
Tip jar competition. Okay.
Yeah. So you will get to vote for which battle you would like to see win.
Okay, that was a lot of fun last year.
Yeah, it was.
Glad to see that's coming back. Post something on social media. I'd love to see that out there. Maybe like what one of the battles might be. Get something going online.
We can. I think we're going to start amping up our promotions on Facebook. So
Excellent. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you another question, and this is totally selfish, but hey, I'm the host of the show. So I heard the Wyandotte Jaycees were the top chapter in the nation. So what is the Marks?
So the Marks is awarded to the top chapter in the nation for GCI USA. To qualify for the Marks, you have to win the Howard. So
Okay.
there was 4 of those given out, and then
I'm still stuck on Wyandotte was the best chapter in the entire nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So out of those 4, it got narrowed down, and Wyandotte took first place.
That's
Wyandotte
awesome.
was the best in
Who
the
was
nation.
their president that year?
It was me. I was the president last year.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what did you and your team have to do? What made that year special that you guys were number one? Or we were number one?
We did everything.
Okay.
That was what made
So
it
that's
so
the
special.
key. You
yeah.
just have to do all of it.
There was something for everyone. And one of the things that's so amazing about the JCs is that there is something for everyone. So we aren't just a community service group who only sticks to community service projects. We provide something for people who are looking to better themselves and better the community. So
That's awesome.
that is really important to us. So we have things that will benefit individuals in their personal life, in their professional life, and all across the board. And that is what sets us up, because we are a leadership organization as opposed to a community service organization.
Right on.
And we took that to heart. At the very beginning of the year, we set out a plan, and it was a very lofty plan with some very big goals. But we achieved all of them and then some. And one of our goals was the Governor's Cup.
So, all right, tell me, I don't know if we have this in the frame. It's not our usual award. It's a little bigger. What is this? It says the Governor's Cup. What's that mean?
So the Governor's Cup is awarded by JCI Michigan, which is our state organization.
I know the guy running that show.
Yeah, so last year was a different guy. But we won this big old trophy here, this cup, for being the best in the state of Michigan at providing quality programming in terms of government and civic involvement.
Wow. So tell me, how does our local government, like the city council and the different commissions and DPS and Wyandotte Cable, how do all those, does that all play a role in this? Do they help with that?
Oh, absolutely. So this award really goes to not only the Wyandotte Jaycees, but also the city of Wyandotte.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't do the things that we set out to do without their help. And it works both ways. So one of the things that set us apart last year was that we did 2 human trafficking events.
Okay.
And obviously that helps the city and get the word out there. But the city was welcoming of us to run that programming. And even the school board was on board with us promoting the human trafficking for teenagers and members kind of the local high schools.
That's awesome. So Wyandotte Jaycees taking on some really, really big stuff, making sure that we're involved with the community. We know the mayor and council are huge supporters of what the Wyandotte Jaycees do. It's great to bring this trophy back home to them and to us. And when's the party? We got to celebrate this stuff, right? So let's plan that party. Fantastic. So thank you guys for being on the show. I really appreciate you coming here. It's always a pleasure. I can't wait to be at the beer tent. You'll see me pouring beer down there in July, guys, so come on out. Hey everybody, welcome back to Jaycees TV. I have with us today our second guest, Aaron Bartal, a good friend of mine. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you.
We have some great stuff to talk about. Aaron's a cool guy, and I want to tell you a quick story. One of the first times I got to hang out with Aaron, it was at an event where we were spreading wood chips for the city. And Aaron shows up and he's like, all right guys, we got this work to do. It's like, yeah, it's no big deal, until it was a torrential downpour of rain. And a lot of people were ready to go home and say, hey, we'll just get this next week or another time. And Aaron said, hey, you know what? I learned something in service, and it's that you got to embrace the suck. So we sat there in the rain, and we shoveled those chips, all 10 yards of them, and hooked up that playground till it looked great. And I'll never forget that moment. And anytime I'm having a little bit of a struggle in life or something's tough, I just say, you know what? I got to embrace the suck and get through this. So that's something Aaron gave to me. I thought that was super cool. And today we're going to be talking a lot about a 5K that Aaron's putting on called the Running to Honor 5K.
Yep.
So tell us what your vision is for this event.
So this thing started about 4 years ago when I started running for the fallen soldiers. I carry a flag that says never forgotten to keep their memory alive. You know, they're not forgotten and they're still alive as long as we keep saying their name. But then I realized I can't keep running forever. I hope to run for many more years, but we never know what tomorrow brings, and I would hate if something happened to me that this whole thing would stop. So then I envisioned that if I have an annual walk, a 5K, this would be a good event that can continue to live on long after I'm gone, 100 years from now, and the community can still come together and honor our fallen soldiers and fallen veterans and keep their memory alive.
That's awesome, Aaron. Super cool. So what kind of planning goes into a 5K? Have you ever done one before?
I've never planned a 5K. I've ran over like 300 races, but there's a lot. I mean, everything from the number of porta-johns you need to the timing service, having permission from the city, having a course, insurance liability. I spend most of my days getting off work and then working from till midnight on this stuff, and I just cut myself off at midnight and go to bed. So it's a lot of stuff.
So yeah, a lot of people probably don't know. They see you on Facebook or social media. Like, you have a regular job that you go to every day.
Oh yeah.
This is just what you're doing the rest of your time. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, 6 a.m. to about 3, I work, and I get off work and I start my second job as a race director. So, but it's all going to be worth it because you know, I'm doing it for a cause that's bigger than myself, so that makes it worth it.
Awesome. So what type of things will the race benefit then?
So the race was supposed to be in Wyandotte, and we just couldn't find a course where we could get agreement from the city because there's some rules with county roads and the railroad tracks and such. So then we moved it to Taylor. So originally the race was going to benefit the Wyandotte Veterans of Foreign Wars, the VFW, and we're trying to get solar panels for them because right now they're spending about $2,000 a month in electricity.
Dang.
And if we get the solar panels, it's going to reduce their electrical bill down to about $200 a month.
Jeez.
So it's
like
about
a 90% savings.
Yep. So it's about $96,000 for the solar panels. So that's the primary goal. And then when we moved to Taylor, it just didn't seem right that we were coming into the Taylor community, raising funds and bringing it back to Wyandotte. So I decided that the right thing to do would be to share that with the Taylor Veterans of Foreign Wars as well. So we're going to give 93% of the proceeds are going to go to the Wyandotte VFW because that was the original charitable cause. Yep. And then we're going to give 7% to the Taylor Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Awesome. That's super cool. So you mentioned your flag earlier. Can you tell us a little bit about it? And I don't know if we're able to bring it into the shot. Hopefully we can show it off on camera a little later. But tell us you got some streamers on there. What does that mean? Yep.
So this flag is red and white. It's the colors of the cavalry. When I was in the military, that's what I was in, the cavalry. Okay. And this goes back to General Custer when they rode on horses during the Civil War and such. We don't have horses anymore we ride on vehicles. But the concept's the same. We're out front. Scouting the battlefield. In modern wars like Iraq and Afghanistan, we're patrolling the road for roadside bombs. We're training the Iraqi and Afghanistan militaries and escorting people around of high importance to make sure they get to where they gotta go safe. So that's what I did in the military, and that's what the colors of the flag mean, red or white. The red or white specifically means death before dishonor, or I'll give blood before I surrender. There's a kneeling soldier in front of a battle cross on there, and that just is a universal symbol for the fallen soldiers, and it says never forgotten. There's streamers on the flag. There's 34 of them. They're different colors. The red stands for the cavalry, which are the soldiers that I serve with. That's the job they had. There's one Marine from Riverview, Corporal Justin Pope. There's black streamers on there, which is like our special forces.
Awesome.
Maroon, which are support services like medics, mechanics, truck drivers, things like that. Yellow, those are armor. So those are people that rode around in tanks or up armored vehicles. The bright blue are mortarmen, so they shot artillery onto the battlefield. The dark blue are helicopter pilots. So these are pilots that would support us overhead. These two particular pilots, Chief Warrant Officer 4 Mariotti and Chief Warrant Officer 2 Shepard, unfortunately, they were shot down out of the sky. So I have a whole variety of people that I serve with that didn't make it back, and that's what all these streamers and colors represent. Every single one of them is a different person that I serve with and didn't come back, or they lost their battle with PTSD or cancer or some other cause, and I want to remember them because they served too. But most of them I serve with, and they were killed in action. There are some green ones. Those are people that I did not serve with. Those are people that I just have personal connections to, and I felt it was right to honor them and let their families know that they're not forgotten.
Let me ask you a bit of a tough question, Aaron. And a lot of people don't have experience with this. What's it like when you're serving with a brother or a friend and they don't get to come home, they died? Like you're with them in battle, they don't come home, but you do.
So in the moment when it happens and the preceding weeks and days, it's not real, because when you're over there, you're in a certain mindset where you're just trying to survive and get the job done. Okay. Where it really starts to set in is when you go to the memorial, and they're buried. But when you come home and you get out of the military and you don't have all those comrades that you're close to and you can kind of cope with things with, then that's when it really starts to set in, and you realize, wow, like it's on me to really to help myself get through this. Maybe I need to ask for help, counseling services. Maybe I need to go to a veteran support group. But it's really hard because you start to realize these people are not here anymore.
That's tough. And then you kind of touched on something else. Even when people do come home, is there a disconnect? What type of things are difficult for soldiers to do when they come home?
So we call this the gap. It's
Okay.
the gap between veterans and civilians. Civilians want to help veterans. They're not sure how. Veterans want to reintegrate back into society and function with civilians, but they're not sure how. The military is the exact opposite of the civilian world. If you have a problem with somebody, maybe they're just not doing something right, you tell them to their face, and you tell them very bluntly.
Yeah.
In the civilian world, especially in the corporate world, you can't
Totally
do that.
different, yeah.
That's a very quick way to get a letter in your HR file. So imagine everything that the civilian world is, it's the exact opposite in the military. So the hardest thing that a veteran has when they come home is the transition. And I've been out since 2006, and I'm still transitioning. It's probably going to be a lifetime of transition. And it's hard for veterans to get jobs because a lot of employers don't understand that we're trying to fit back into a world that we're not used to.
Yeah.
Maybe we're coping with things that we experienced during war.
That nobody understands except other soldiers, right?
Yeah, and it's hard. You show up 15 minutes early to something, and no one's there. They show up on time. So
I have a feeling you showed up here, and I know because I walked in the door. You were mic'd up, sitting in the chair, and yeah, I showed up at 6:01, walking in the door. So
I was here 15 minutes early, because if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
So I was 16 minutes late.
That's true.
All right,
That's
fantastic. So I can learn more from you, which I like.
You could.
I'll elevate slightly as I go along. So, so a couple more questions. One is, all right, so we got the 5K. I'd love to see the medal. Do you have it here that you could show us on camera?
Yeah, it's on the sign over there with
We able to get a shot of that? This is where we show off our high dollar items here in our studio. The technology. We have the crew when they're not doing yoga poses. Here we go. So tell us a little bit about this medal.
Yep, so this medal was designed by Erin Davis. Artfully Erin is kind of her company, and she did a great job with it. I'm not going to say that that's me running on the medal because it's all black. I don't really like me being
Your
the face
image,
of it.
right.
I want it to just be, we're representing the fallen soldiers. So what you see there is a person and carrying the flag, the red and white flag, just like I carry in a race, since it's running to honor 5K. I think it just pops and hopefully motivates people to go out there, and whether you run or walk, just try your best and be happy that you can be here today for all the soldiers and veterans that aren't here anymore.
Awesome. So speaking of being there, how do we get involved with the 5K?
So the 5K, a couple different ways you can get involved. The first way is you could register to come out and run or walk. People hear 5K and they think, oh, I can't run. Well, you can come out and walk.
That's awesome.
You can register on our site, which is runningtohonor.nmotive.com. That's ENMOTIVE.com. You can also go to that same site and register to volunteer. We have many volunteer positions, whether it's handing out shirts and bibs, handing out cookies at the finish line, medals at the finish line, handing out water on the course. So there's many opportunities. And of course, we're always accepting donations, and 100% of the donations people make will go to the Veterans of Foreign Wars and Wyandotte Taylor.
It's awesome.
It will not be used for any expenses of the race.
That is tremendous. And it sounds like the Wyandotte Jaycees, and I can even share this with JCI Michigan. Obviously, I'm their president, and I can help push that out. There's volunteer opportunities at the race, and I can make sure people see what those are. Other than that, any last words for the community? Any way we can help veterans or learn a way to dig in a little deeper?
I think the biggest thing is just teaching the younger generation, your kids, about, freedom's not free and what does that mean, and finding a way to get involved and help veterans, whether it's helping at a homeless veterans shelter, going to a veterans event, or just reminding people, like Memorial Day is not the start of summer. The start of summer is actually later in the month. So
June 21st.
Yeah. So just educating yourself on what it means when we say freedom's not free. And the other thing I like to say is, I'm very thankful for the Wyandotte Jaycees, actually.
Awesome.
We didn't talk about this, but this event is being done in partnership with the Wyandotte Jaycees, Running to Honor and the Wyandotte Jaycees.
That's awesome.
And, I'm proud to be part of the Wyandotte Jaycees. And actually, I don't say this often. I've actually only told maybe one person, maybe Michelle Kelly and Sarah Fappas.
Okay.
And the Wyandotte Jaycees help me stay where I need to be. They help
Awesome.
me with my transition out of the military. On days where I might just want to stay in my house and say, you know what, I just want to be by myself,
Yeah.
right? There's some event going on with the Jaycees, whether it's a GMM or it's a social, and that type of thing pulls me out of my shell and helps me connect with civilians and the Jaycees, and it helps me continue to stay on the right track, because for a veteran, it's really easy to go down the dark path
Yeah.
or a wrong track. So I'm just very thankful for the Wyandotte Jaycees, not only in their partnership with this event, but just being a good organization that helps me as a veteran fit back in.
Awesome. Aaron, thanks very much for being on the show.
Thanks,
and
Steve.
thanks also for being a Wyandotte JC. You've been one of the favorite people I've met in the last couple of years. I think
Thank you,
you're
Steve.
awesome, and
Means
I'm
a lot.
happy to support you as much as I can. So I'll be at the race. I'll be the MC. I can't wait to see you all there. Hey guys, what an amazing show we've had here today on Jaycees TV. Had some amazing guests. Always good to see my wife on the show. Congratulations to Wyandotte again on being the best chapter in the nation. That is amazing. Also, if you guys want to get involved with the things that we do, come on out to the Copeland Center the second Tuesdays of every month at 7:30 p.m. and that's where we have our general meeting. Everybody's welcome to attend that. You hear about all of our amazing projects. You see it here on the screen. I'm not good at that, but I kind of made that work. Anyways, check out our projects. We're awesome. And as always, one team, one dream.